Hello, fellow Rotarians. Good to see you all. You are getting an extra dose of me today. Tom Collette had to be out last minute, and I said, oh, great, I'll take it. And then the whole aspect of technology. So thank you, Wes, helping us, and Cody online helping and getting us here. So a little different coming in as well. So if you're here, sign in as a meal or sign in as here without a meal. There's two different sheets, plenty of sanitized pens to use, but we'll need to do that next week as well. So as we move towards the holiday party, and there'll be more announcements on that coming forward. So, you know, guests, visiting Rotarians, please type in the chat. We'll recognize you. And President-elect David Gracie, my man has stepped up big today, said, what do you need? So he's coming forth with a song and a pledge. Thank you, David Gracie. Yeah, bring it on. Whatever you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Oh boy, you are in for a treat right now. We're going to sing God Bless America. God bless America. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, David. What a stud. I appreciate it, man. Rock solid for me. Thank you very much. Yes. And I'm going to tell you, our speaker has a beautiful voice. That was awesome. Thank you, Shaney. Can't wait for the presentation. Now, Eric Spivey for our invocation.
Hopefully you can hear me the whole time today online, and the microphone batteries are fresh batteries. Excellent. Let's pray together. Today, oh Lord, we come in the midst of a pandemic, recognizing that you are doing something new inside of us and inside of our community as we move in through this December time. We are reminded of the power of love, joy, peace, and hope that come to us as we focus on living out your life in this community. May you make us open to new things, new opportunities as we begin to work to the conclusion of this pandemic in the year ahead. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you very much, Eric. You may be seated unless you have a guest. If there are any guests, David Gracie is in the crowd. He will walk around. I have not been able to check the chat, so know that if you are visiting and you've keyed it into the chat, I will circle back here in a couple of minutes when I've had an opportunity to pick up those names. So please, if you are visiting via Zoom right now live, please type that in. Would love to recognize anybody that's attending today. So with that said, our first announcement will be Miss Linda Reinhardt.
Hello, fellow Rotarians. I am here to announce the kickoff of our annual Bread of the Mighty food drive. We are very, very fortunate to have an organization like Bread of the Mighty in our community. And while there's a need every year, I think we all know that this year it's particularly a need in our community as well as throughout the country. So I do encourage everybody to get involved. Obviously, it's a little bit different this year. Instead of collecting items here at the meetings, we are doing it online. We did get the links live today for DACDB. We'll be sending those out. It's also been created as a Facebook event. So if you follow our Facebook page, you can go to Facebook events and donate through a pledge drive that way as well. And the last way is we will also be happy to take checks. The checks would need to be made out to Bread of the Mighty, and I can collect them or you can mail them to Jeff Sims. The last piece of information about the drive, two very exciting things. Thank you to Charles Allens for donating an Embers gift card, which again, if you make a donation, you'll be entered in a drawing for the gift card to Embers. And the second great announcement is that member Kathy Pierce has volunteered to match dollar for dollar up to $1,000 any contribution. So thank you very much to Kathy, and everybody's money will go just a little bit farther if you make a donation in December. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you, Kathy. I appreciate that. I have some more announcements on that here in a minute, but first I would like to bring President-elect David Gracie back for a follow-up last announcement and some details about the holiday party next week.
Okay, everybody. Hopefully everyone has seen that email that went out actually yesterday. To be clear, one of the reasons I wanted to come up here today was to just make sure everyone understands that there is a separate email that came out yesterday that you need to respond to so that we know what you would like to eat and so that we may reserve space for you. The one a couple of weeks ago was rather just preliminary. This is the important one. So if you're able to join us next Tuesday at 11:30 at the Cade Museum, please do respond. Let us know what you'd like to eat. It's going to be a lot of fun. And another point that probably hasn't been stressed enough is that we are being very careful with this event in terms of spacing, table arrangements. We're observing the CDC COVID guidelines. Everyone will be in masks. So we're going to be careful with this one, but we want everyone to know that and kind of be prepared that it's kind of a unique holiday luncheon, but it's still going to be a lot of fun and hopefully help everyone kind of get in the holiday spirit. When you approach the Cade, you'll see some kind of signs to help with parking. So just, I know that a lot of times it's tricky to park there, but there is plenty of space and we've addressed that. So just kind of pay attention as you're approaching and you'll see where to park. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Thanks.
Thank you, David. I did notice Rachel Cook with Shaney, the Alachua County Library District, with her team. She is on via Zoom, and Mark Landman is guest. He is the owner, creator of DACDB that you hear mentioned. So has been a great friend of the club and help us in many ways with that. So there is one more announcement via Zoom. TJ Pache.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much to everybody who was at Catholic Charities last week. We had 6 Rotarians there, each of whom worked for about an hour and a half packing boxes for students at local schools. Also on December 19th, we have our tour of the Evergreen Cemetery in Southeast Gainesville. If you're interested in coming, it will be at 12:30 that afternoon. Be on the lookout for additional emails regarding that, but we do hope to have a good socially distanced and masked crowd at that event. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, TJ. You know, that leads me right in. So as we started this year, you know, first of all, you know that for several years, I've been a huge advocate of fun and fellowships, right? I love those. I think they're a great part of the club. And we unfortunately have not been able to, you know, I mean, that's just what the cards we've been dealt, right? So, but we've had some really unique small group service opportunities that I also say are great opportunities to fellowship. They've been very safe, very well organized. Everybody's been very compliant, mask and handling situation. But there are opportunities to visit with your fellow Rotarians. So just keep that in mind. They've all been very well managed, and I think everyone has felt very comfortable in doing so. And then also we talked about that, you know, we've got to do Rotary and we're doing things, and I'm planning an update with that very soon in those monies. But we also talked about other opportunities, Bread of the Mighty, okay? Same thing. We've got the Salvation Army, the traditional bell ringing this Saturday. Guys helping and Helen's helping out. And we've got about 6 spots remaining. Please, if you can. But not only are we going to be out there ringing the bell, but Kathy Pierce also put another $1,000 challenge out there. So for Rotarians that give to that Salvation Army, okay, in our names through that event, up to $1,000, another match. So I'm not going to be here. Anybody in the group is like, whoa, there's all these different things put out there. But listen, they're opportunities. We're not going to browbeat or send out 100 emails. We're going to give you an opportunity if you're led and you have that ability to contribute in that way, because this year, like any other, I mean, and maybe more so, there are great needs surrounding food, and both Salvation Army and Bread of the Mighty can deliver on that. I sat on the foundation share committee this year and approving grants, and I think I've mentioned this before. There was an overwhelming amount of need out there this year about food insecurity, just like with the backpack program, and even adults and those that are having challenges with work. So if you can, great. If you can't, we'll have other service opportunities. We'll have other things. Just do what you can, and we're here just to facilitate that opportunity for you and move forward. So, and I appreciate all that everybody does. Again, 6 spots open. We've got spots ranging from 12 to 5 p.m. You got a 1-hour window. Stand outside. We should, I think, have a great flow of traffic there at Millhopper with a night football game. We'll be able to see a lot of people coming in, maybe making last-minute purchases and provisions for the game. So come out if you can. If you're having trouble with DAC-DB, please contact me. I will do my best to get you signed up. So from there, before we go back to TJ, real quick, I just want to, because it was on a public forum, keep our friend and fellow Rotarian Richard Allen in your thoughts and prayers the next couple of weeks. So he's going to be headed out of town, and he's been working with some challenges, and he's going out of town for another procedure, and just lift him up. He's a great friend, great Rotarian, and the last to ask for anything, but if you could just remember him in the couple weeks ahead, and his wife and family. So just please do so. With that said, I am going to ask Cody to hand it over to TJ via Zoom, and he will introduce today's speaker. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. How fortunate we are as a county to have the Alachua County Library District, and today as a club to have Library Director Shaney T. Livingston with us. Director Livingston has served as director of the Alachua County Library District since 2011 and has worked at the Library District for 30 years. Prior to her role as director, Shaney served as the Library District's Administrative Services Division Director and in finance and accounting positions in Gainesville and Tallahassee. Born and raised in Tallahassee, Director Livingston holds a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting from Florida A&M University and a Master of Science in Library and Information Studies from Florida State University. She believes the Library District's greatest asset is the organization's incredible staff, a fact that I obviously agree with, given that my fiance, Courtney, is a newly minted librarian at the Library District, thus making Director Livingston Courtney's boss's boss. Thank you for being here, Director Livingston. Take it away.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you this afternoon. And also thank you to TJ for the invitation and for that amazing introduction. I'm going to be talking with you today about your library, adapting and thriving. Give you a little history about your library, October 1985 is when the citizens of Alachua County voted to approve a special referendum to create a special district. After the approval of the referendum, the next year was spent on the transition. October 1st, 1986. This is when the district came to fruition and became an independent special taxing district and has been thriving ever since. So what does it mean to be an independent special district? It means that we're not a city or a county department. We have been given the authority by the voters to levy ad valorem taxes, and it means that the district operates independently of any other governmental entity and is solely responsible for its operations. So, in 1986, a governing board was created consisting of 5 members, 3 county commissioners and 2 city commissioners. At that time, the county was considered the majority and the library was required to use county support services and be a part of the county audit. Then in 2004, the governing board made a decision to include a member from the school board. So they amended their legislation, and today there is a 6-member governing board, and we're no longer part of the county's audit, but have to do an independent audit, and we could opt not to use the county support services. The governing board members are appointed by their respective commission. They're responsible for setting policy, approving an annual budget, and the long-range plan. And on the screen, you can see these are the current commissioners who are on the governing board today. Then there's the Board of Trustees. This is a 7-member citizen advisory committee. They make recommendations to the governing board on policies, the annual budget, and the long-range plan. And these are our current Board of Trustee members today. We do have vacancies each year for the Board of Trustees. So if you're looking for a board that you would like to serve on, this is a great opportunity. The only limitation is that you can't be a city or county employee. This is our organizational chart for the library district. And you see at the top, our citizens, as those are the individuals who made it possible. Then you have the governing board, the Board of Trustees, and then the district is broken down into an administrative services division and a public service division. We're also very fortunate that we have a Friends of the Library and a foundation. So if you're looking for a group to be involved with, or you would just like to make a donation, I would highly recommend these 2 organizations. This is our mission statement. We're very community focused and committed to being part of the fabric that builds this community. So we feel that this is a very appropriate mission statement. We also have created a tagline for the library that allows us to aim high, and that is thinking outside the book. Just to give you an overview, we have 12 branches and 2 bookmobiles. 5 of those branches are located within the city of Gainesville or the unincorporated Gainesville, and we're also in the municipalities of Archer, Alachua, Hawthorne, High Springs, Micanopy, Newberry, and Waldo. We also have a library in the jail, and when I do presentations, I often tell people, you don't want to visit that one. And that is via an interlocal agreement with the sheriff's office. We also have our 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, e-branch. And our website is aclib.us. So even when our physical branches are closed, you can still visit your library online. We've always prided ourselves on the ability to offer new programs and services, be flexible, and adapt. I feel our adaptability has been tested this year with COVID-19. In March of 2020, we would be challenged and change the way we do business. Many of the amazing programs and services that we would offer and patrons would come into our building, they had to be put on hold. We closed our building early March for 2 months due to COVID, but we strove to maintain as many services as possible to our patrons. As a result of having to close, we launched what's called instant digital cards. For those individuals who did not have a traditional library card, we made it possible that they could get this card just using their cell phone number and be able to go online and access our e-resources as well. We continued our reference services by phone and email, and staff have answered over 2,000 questions via chat. After we launched our instant digital card, we have had over 5,000 individuals who have signed up for this service. The staff that are assigned to the jail, they have answered over 1,400 legal questions for the inmates. We're also committed, so we expanded our digital collection so that we could reduce the wait times for books while residents were staying at home. Check out the library at home. We're still here, but we're delivering our services and programs in a different way. Our patrons are encouraged to access our many digital resources, including ebooks, e-audiobooks, databases, educational tools, digital magazines, music, and so much more from the comfort of their home. Ancestry.com. This was a database that was only available to our patrons for use in the library. But when the pandemic hit, the vendor agreed to allow during the pandemic through the end of this year that patrons would be able to access Ancestry.com. And we have had many individuals who have been very grateful and appreciative of this opportunity. Virtual programming. Our staff has posted dozens of programs on social media that were filmed and edited while they were at home. And when we returned in May, they continued to do virtual programs. And since that time, staff have created over 169 virtual programs. So we look forward to seeing you online. Each year, we always had an amazing summer with the library. But due to COVID, again, we had to be flexible and have the ability to adapt. So we transitioned our summer with the library program all online. And it increased the quality of participation over the course of the summer. We partnered with PDQ Restaurant to provide 3 tablets so that at the end of the summer reading program, we would be able to award a person in the children's area, the teens, and the adults by reading and participating in the summer reading. We also had our annual Battle of the Books program that went virtual as well. This year, teens registered online and they picked up their books and then they competed online. And that allowed them to sign up and still be connected. So curbside service. When we reopened in May, we still wanted to be able to connect our patrons to their library in some format. So we launched curbside service. And since starting this service, we have had over 323 items physically checked out via the curbside and walk-up service. And that service continues today. We also issued over 1,200 new cards as a result of that service. Then we gradually, as we move forward, added additional services. We started offering computer by appointments only with limited capacity. And then October, we started limited browsing. So as a result of all of these things, we consider that we're still thriving. We've been able to adapt to the new norms that we have been challenged with. So some of our new norms are, we created Grab and Go. This is an added service, which means you can call your preferred branch, let us know what type of book, movie, or music you would like. We will pull 3 to 5 items and have them ready for you in 1 hour. All you have to do is come to your branch, call and let us know that you have arrived, or you can get it when you come in for browsing. We also upgraded our print system. So now you can send a print job from your cell phone or from your home. Then all you have to do is come in when we're open or come in during browsing or computer appointments to receive that. We have expanded the limited browsing hours to all of our locations now, and this has been received very well by our patrons. Some of our other services that we've created during this time. We created Story Time in a Bag. Each bag includes 3 to 5 books based on the weekly theme with a song, 4-sheet, and instructions for craft. We also have the Seed Library, which we have allowed patrons to pick up seeds for the upcoming fall harvest. Then we took to Zoom for all of our amazing book clubs, online discussions amongst our patrons and our staff. Our daycare centers and our elementary schools, they reached out and they said, hey, we miss you guys. So we found a way to do virtual story times as well. We have not been able to have our volunteers come in at this time due to COVID, but our literacy coordinator has reached out and she has been able to do basic literacy coaching via Zoom. And this keeps our current learners and coaches still connected on a smaller scale. Then student support. A few years ago, we created a program called the Student Library Card to provide those students who either had their cards taken away because they were over the limit or whatever, they could not use the library. So we came up with this in conjunction with the school board, and we have issued over 26,000 cards to students in Alachua County and PK. And what this does, it allows the students to be able to check out 3 print or physical items. They can browse ebooks, audios, and download music, and access any digital learning resources at school or at home, including things such as tutoring, live preparation, and research tests. So, COVID forced us to go live. Our library staff continued to produce videos, and now they post 1 live virtual program a week. These programs are done on Zoom, and many are streamed live on Facebook. These are just images from 3 of our recent programs, including 2 story times. We also partnered a few years ago with the 8th Judicial Circuit to do a program called Law in the Library. And so we were able to work with one of the attorneys, and they were willing to do a Zoom program on landlord-tenant issues. So if you want to see any of the videos that staff have created in the past several months, you can visit our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Alachua Library, or you can just go to our website to find it. Then there's those exciting and innovating partnerships. We partner with over 300 agencies in Alachua County to bring services and programs to this community. So this year, we have joined with the Florida Museum to present the National Endowment of the Arts Big Read. And this is a series of 3 events that uplift women in science. So you can join our book club discussions, your keynote speakers, storytelling events, and so much more of women who are involved in STEM. And these events are scheduled through March of 2021 to give the community multiple ways to join in on the conversation and to take part in the Big Read program. Our next event is the Lab Girl Meetup on January 12th. So you have just enough time to read this book if you're interested. All you have to do is to go to our website and sign up, and you will get the link to participate in Zoom. We have also reached out to others in the communities during this time. We have partnered with the Chamber of Commerce to do a book club, a business book club each month. And this gives patrons an opportunity to read a book and to get together and have their weekly or monthly discussions regarding that. We've also set up a computer at Cone Park so that patrons can come in and have virtual meetings with the Shine people so that they can receive information regarding Medicare. And the library also serves as an election site as well as an early voting site. So fresh opportunities. We continue to expand our offerings to patrons. This month, we are launching our first winter reading challenge. We're challenging Alachua County to read 1,000 hours this winter and help us compete against libraries all across the USA to win author visits and books. We've also worked with 3 local vendors so that if you sign up, you sign your kids up, at the end of this program, there will be 3 prizes that will be available. And some of the prizes that we will have will come from Gator Dockside, Gator BTW, and MAPA for prizes. And this is open to all ages. So looking ahead, we hope to gradually continue to grow our services, increase our browsing hours, open up our meeting rooms again, and have in-person programming. But all of this will be when it's safe to do so. We truly miss our patrons and our volunteers, but we understand that we're in a pandemic. So we just have to be creative and find ways that we can still continue to serve individuals. But our top priority has to remain the health and the safety of our community and our staff. We will keep seeking opportunities to engage with our community in new ways to participate, connect, and discover. Thank you so much for your time. And if there are any questions for me, I'm certainly here to answer questions.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If anybody in the crowd has a question, we'll coordinate the microphone with David here. As he's coming forward, I'm going to read real quick. Shaney, if you do not mind just staying at the mic, okay. And then he's going to take this one here in just a second. But I'll be monitoring the chat for questions. But I just wanted to tell you there were many accolades here in the chat about what great work and services that you and your team do, and what's out there. So I'm going to let David field a couple questions, and then I'm going to accumulate some questions from here.
Hi, Shaney. This is Greg Young. We spoke recently on the phone about things related to the park near us. Yes. And I want to first thank you. And I remember my son, when he was young, one of his favorite things to do was go to the library, and it was, bring books home. And I think, and as on Zoom, the comments that have been said already, is I think one of the things about Gainesville and this Alachua County and this library district is that it's so good, and it's what helps make this community a better place. The emphasis on reading for young people, which is an important skill to learn in life. And I also wanted to share something with the club that they may not be aware of. In our conversations recently, you and I are involved in a working group that's looking at Sweetwater Branch Linear Park, which is the Sweetwater Creek that actually runs all the way down to the big Sweetwater Park down on Paynes Prairie. Well, there's some talk, and there's been initiative, and we're working with the city and other entities to try a working group to try to refurbish that area so that the quality of the water becomes better, for one, but also it becomes an attractive location for people to bring their children, where after they go to the library or they go to the Matheson Museum, which I'm involved with, that they then have an outdoor area to have activities and bring their family, and making it an attractive area of town, which right now it's, other than the library and the Matheson, it's kind of a quiet part of town that we want to see become central to the community. So anyway, I just want to say that, and thank you for presenting today, and thanks again.
Good afternoon. I'm Deborah Newell, and I apologize that I missed the first little bit of your presentation. I do love the library. Since coming to Gainesville, I have used several different branches, and I appreciate the work that you all do. I did not hear whether or not some of the new initiatives that you all have rolled out because of COVID, whether you envision those continuing once and whenever the library opens back up to where people are utilizing it in person, or because of personnel resources and other resources, will some of those necessarily be shifted around and go away?
Of course, that will depend on personnel, but because we're so uncertain about the pandemic, our fiscal year starts October, and we're in conversations now about, as we start the new fiscal year, being realistic in terms of maybe offering hybrid programs. Some of the discussions that we've had, we would love to go to in-person programs, but even when we get back to what we consider to be normal, I think that we have to be cautious and deliberate. So whereas we normally just advertise programs and it's free for all, everyone comes, we would probably ask people to register online so that we can control the number of individuals that come, and looking at exploring ways to have programming outside to serve the community as well. This is very uncharted territory for us and everyone. So we're just looking at how do we gradually get back to normalcy, but still be cautious in what we offer.
Good afternoon. I'm Eric Spivey, and I think one of the successes I can say of the library is just since I've moved to Gainesville, I think I've read more than I've ever read. And so thank you. And I use your online and especially your app resources that I'm able to read all of these digital books on my Kindle. And it's just incredible. So I guess one of my just a basic kind of questions, how does that work? I mean, you have a way that you can limit the number of books that can be checked out digitally, and some things are available, sometimes they're not. So I understand when you have a regular book, how does that work with your digital books?
Well, first of all, let me just start by saying that all books are not necessarily in digital format. When people hear the term ebooks, everybody automatically thinks that every book that's ever been published is in that format, but that's not necessarily true. And a lot of those decisions are made by the publishers as well in terms of the checkout limits and the time spans that will be available to patrons as well. So we do have to work with various publishers to bring that format and what's available to the district at that time. So we are always looking to increase. And what we have found pre-COVID is that there's always a waiting list for people to get online for various books, because you can get 20 at a time for 21 days. So what we opted to do was those books that we felt were very popular, to buy more of those so that the wait time wouldn't be as long.
I'm Rotarian Charles Allen. One of our 6 areas of focus in Rotary International is literacy. There's some opportunities here for us. What can Rotary do for you? We have 400 local Rotarians and 5 Rotary clubs in the Gainesville area. What do you need from us? Do you need our volunteers? Do you need a book drive? What can we do to make this county a better place concerning literacy?
We could always use volunteers. If there are individuals who have expertise in literacy, computer training, those are things that the library could really use help in. We often talk about, as a community, the digital divide, and then we come up with solutions for different avenues for people to participate. But I think the often forgotten part is that computer literacy is a real issue in this community. So if there are individuals who have the ability to teach computer classes, we would love to be able to create more computer classes for the community. We have limited staff, and some of them are even limited in what they could do. But volunteers are always welcome to help us in any initiative or project. So thank you, and I will take you up on that. I'm going to reach out to my leadership team next week and say, hey, the Rotary just volunteered to help us. So let's brainstorm and go back to them with a plan to be more involved with the library district to help us move forward in various areas, so that we can continue to make sure that everyone can read, write, and have access to the available materials to have a better life.
Hey, Brendan, shortly, I want to piggyback on Eric's question because I think I know where he was going with the how does that work question. In terms of 20 books, for example, 20 checkouts per title, is that a licensing issue, I assume? In other words, the publisher only gives you a certain number of licenses or checkouts per title? And if so, maybe piggybacking on George's question, we could buy more licenses for you, or at least have a fundraising drive for the popular books. What do you think about those two things?
Well, COVID actually was a blessing in that respect, because prior to that, libraries across the U.S. was faced with vendors making a decision that libraries are hurting their business in the ebook world. Personally, I don't think so. I mean, we spend an astronomical amount on digital books, and there are 119,000 libraries across the U.S., but they want to promote Amazon and the bookstores. So what they had came up with originally is that each library would only be able to purchase one copy of a book, and we could only do that for an 8-week period. Then after that period, they would let the numbers go up, and then we would have to rent it. We couldn't own it. So there's still a lot of ins and outs with the publishing world about how they deliver that, but they have backed down from that as a result of COVID and as a result of libraries having petitions. Some libraries even opted to boycott and to not buy books from them. So it's really kind of what the publishers want to make available and the pressure from the private sector to make sure that they're getting as much profit as they can.
I'm going to bring a couple questions from the chat room here. And from Jenny Van Hart, is the library district considering adding a playground at the headquarter branch? My daughters have enjoyed the one at the Millhopper branch, and I know they love to use the one there as well, and maybe other kids.
Not at this time. Headquarters is probably more of a challenge. We do have a beautiful courtyard in the back of the building, and right now we're having discussions about maybe using that for outdoor programming, but we haven't really been able to come up with a concept for outdoor playground at headquarters.
Very good. Colin Burrows had asked a question, and Rachel from your office had answered, but I'll share for those in the room. Colin had asked about, he had heard there's actually a seed library, and Rachel had explained that, yes, seeds are available at all 12 locations, and contact the staff. So I didn't know if you wanted to add to that at all.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We get various seeds. Some individuals donate, some of the local stores donate, and we just make those available. And it's sort of whatever we have available that you have access to.
So it varies,
Yes,
and it
it
probably
varies.
varies by location as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Monica Brazington, she wanted to give a big thank you to the library and echo what others had said, that she had taken advantage of the curbside service, browsing hours, and the big read during the pandemic. So not only were these services well organized and innovative, but the library staff is consistently professional, helpful, and kind. So very grateful for that there as well. So other accolades from Buddy Irby. Congratulations to the library district and the clerk of the court as a comptroller for the library district on your recent national recognition for your outstanding financial reports. Maybe a round of applause for that. So, yes. So, any other questions from the crowd before we close out? All right. Another round of applause for our speaker today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you again, Shaney. Rotary's theme this year is Rotary Opens Opportunities. And we know that through your work and the work of your team in the library district, that you continuously open opportunities, not just for our younger citizens, but our young children, but for all citizens of the community. And we thank you for that. We have a theme coin, small theme coin that I'd like to provide to you as just a token of appreciation and remembrance for our presentation today. Thank you again. Great presentation, great resource in the community, and very thankful. So David Gracie, thank you again, buddy. So that's your president-elect. He is ready to hit the nastiest of curveballs and change ups next year and handle whatever's thrown his way. So he stepped up today and demonstrated that. So thank you. And he'll be leading the party next week. So I can stand back and watch and provide him any assistance that he may need. So just remember, we will meet. We will not be here. You can still do Zoom. We'll be at the Cade. And so not forget that. After next week, we'll take our 2-week Christmas break, and then we'll be back on January 5th. So after today, 3 weeks back here, meeting on January 5th. And so that'll be 2021. You know, we'll be at post 2020. Maybe we should have a dance party, or maybe not. That probably wouldn't work out too well for me. So scratch that idea. That didn't work well. But I do, because I probably will not be speaking, I do wish each and every one of you a blessed holiday season, a new year with family and friends, continued safety, prosperity, and health. And we look forward to a new year and what all that may bring, and that what we as a group of Rotarians can do together in serving our community above ourselves. So our first meeting of the year will be Allison Fry, Rotary Evangelist. So I'm not sure about the details, but I'm excited about that. And before I ring the bell, tip baskets, you know, they're still here. We'll have an opportunity. When I send out an email later today, circling back, I'm going to give you that link where you can take advantage of that food, Bread of Mighty, that food challenge opportunity, or Salvation Army, as well as if you're not able to be here and want to do something for the staff. I'm going to have a third option for that. Again, it's just an opportunity. If you can, great. Do it here, send it in, make a commitment, but there'll be a link for easy access for that as well. So those are there. And quote of the day: the more you read, the more things you will know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Dr. Seuss, have a great week.